life. So I was kind of wondering about various career options within medicine. And so I'd had some coaching and I'd found it really, really helpful. And I think because of that, coaching had kind of got on my radar as something that can be really useful for people. And then I think I hadn't really thought about becoming, training as a coach or anything like that at all. And then I think I saw something about this course that was specifically aimed for doctors. And that really appealed because I like the idea of learning alongside other doctors. So we have a lot of the same sort of skills and training, but we were all coming to this new. Thought this looks really good, had really good reviews. And I thought, you know what, it's affordable, it's good value. I'll go for this and see what happens from there. Well, there were so many things, actually. It's called transformational coaching, and it's not just transformational for coachees. I think as people learning, it was quite transformational for us as a group. So there was lots of things that we came across that were new, lots of new models in terms of kind of psychological theories, but also kind of coaching models and techniques. So we kind of learned so much new stuff that was really so interesting. So there was that. There was also the kind of development of us as a group. Actually, we all came together and nobody knew each other. We were all doctors, but we were all from different parts of the country, different specialties. And actually it was incredible how over that time period we really bonded as a group, and we taught each other so much, learned so much from each other. And that was one of the most kind of enlightening things actually about it, that what we were learning in the modules that Tom was talking us through, we were actually applying as a group when we were practicing with each other in terms of things in our own lives. It was genuinely transformative, and we all agree that, and we were all surprised at that. We didn't expect it to be so powerful actually in terms of our own development. I think one of the things that we all learnt about, and obviously I found very useful and powerful in my own work, was really learning how to listen. And although as a doctor that we learn communication skills and we're listening all the time to patients, and that's something that we it's sort of second nature, actually there's a very different kind of listening that we learned about on this course. That was really interesting to sort of take a step back from the way that we would normally work and really develop that side of that skill. And it is a real skill, and I've actually found that I can use that in my practice in a way that's been really helpful. So it's been a sort of additional skill that we've kind of been able to bolt onto our working lives, and also dealing with other colleagues. So it's not just useful with patients, it's useful in the workplace generally, I think. And I think also just in terms of our own careers, our own lives, that there's perhaps something about the kind of 6 months that we all spent together thinking and talking a lot, practicing, actually brings up a lot of thinking about our own lives and our own career trajectory. So quite a few of us in the group have decided to do different things to what we thought we would do 6 months ago, which has been really interesting. Well, it was so much fun. It was always the highlight of the fortnight, actually, because there was so much interesting stuff to learn. And, we're all kind of geeky medics. We all love to learn. So that was great, expanding our knowledge about technique and theory. And Tom was a really interesting, inspiring group facilitator, leader, teacher. He was always really encouraging, enthusiastic. He's very, very knowledgeable, very experienced coach. So we always felt in very safe hands with him. And he's very smart and he's very lively. And I think actually he brings the group together very well. And then as a group, we really bonded. Like I've never met any of these women actually, because we happen to be an all-female group. We feel like we're friends. It's just been really lovely as a group of professional women, doctors, all of us, to have this really supportive group with a really inspiring teacher. And we all feel we've got so much out of it, both professionally but also personally. I think that we feel like we've got new friends, and it's just been lovely. I think that because of the pandemic, we've all got used to working in that way that perhaps 5 years ago we would have found quite strange. But so I think that actually even though we were not in the same room and we were not meeting up, actually it's amazing how kind of that we did feel that we were part of a group. And I think the number in the group was just about the right sort of size, so that there was sort of variety and, you know, lots of interesting discussion, but at the same time it wasn't so big and unwieldy that, you know, it became anonymous. We were all very much involved, everybody was taking part, and we all got to know each other. Well, I do think that it really does help with seeing patients and just taking that little bit of extra time, if possible, to sort of just think, what are they actually saying, and really listening, and not kind of rushing in with a solution at, you know, the straight away. I found that helpful. As I said, I think dealing with workplace issues, it's extremely helpful to listen to what people are bringing and to get them to think really about, you know, how they might go forward with a way of making things better if they've got a problem at work. It's a sort of facilitatory kind of way of working that's very powerful, though, actually. And before you do the course, you don't quite understand, I think, how powerful it can be. And that has been a real revelation to me, actually. I'm really hoping to develop a coaching practice to become self-employed in that sense. So that's something I'm really keen to kind of develop. And, you know, before I took this course, that wasn't necessarily what I was thinking of doing, but actually having done it, I can really see the benefit of doing that. So that's where I'm sort of heading myself. I think that the skills you learn in this course are really valuable and useful in lots of different contexts. I don't think it's necessary to want to become a coach or to incorporate coaching in your professional life, but if that's what you want to do, then it's an amazing starting place. You become a qualified coach by doing this course, and so you then can use it in that way if that's what you would like. It feels to me that there are many different ways you can use the skills that we learned, in terms of just incorporating in your everyday work, in terms of mentoring people in the workplace, or perhaps having some kind of extra aspect to your career where maybe you're doing some kind of, you know, private practice type of work. And there's so many different ways you can use the skills that we learn.